What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back at you with another video. And today, Kiper dropped his 2-round mock draft. So I'm going to be giving my feedback on it. And you know what? I thought about potentially skipping it, but it is now my new series. We are going to be continuing this mock draft for one more round. So if you guys are intrigued about that one, which I love this series, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the community. And kind of a big announcement that I've already made. I have the website up and we have in a nutshell scouting reports. So if you guys want to see anything about the quarterbacks, all of them are essentially up right now. So you guys should definitely check that out. Big fan of what's been going on over there. You know, I have 2 to 3 minute reads on scouting reports. So if you don't want to read 20 minutes into a bunch of mumbo jumbo that both you and the writer don't even know what they're talking about, you want to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, feel free to check that out. Link in the description, along with a bunch of other links as well. Let's kick right into this because honestly, I'm not in the mood to do a 2-hour video, even though that'd be lovely. Starting off, Aiden Hutchinson, just save time. It's an amazing pick, super high floor player, and he doesn't have as high of a ceiling, or he has a higher ceiling than what we're giving him credit for. Detroit Lions going Sauce Gardner. So I want to talk about this one really quick. You know, when you analyze what like this pick actually means, you will like originally be like, oh, what the heck? Like Sauce Gardner too. You have to start thinking about, okay, so for me, behind the curtains, he's my number 1 player in the draft. So if you analyze it from my perspective, Detroit definitely could use a lockdown corner. Corner is one of the more valuable positions. It's harder to hit on. Obviously, you might have some PTSD, obviously from going Jeff Okudah at number 3, but I think Sauce is a lot better than that. Regardless, Sauce Gardner would definitely bolster the secondary. The corner room is not complete. And this corner class, in my opinion, is not very good. So you're passing on an edge rusher here, but I'm pretty sure there will probably be some good ones there in the second, if not the 3rd round. So you don't exactly need to go that route. So this could just be BPA. If you really think Sauce is the best player in the draft, I would not destroy this pick at all. I wouldn't, because again, that's just me. Sauce my number 1 guy, but it's a very interesting new take, and it's not a quarterback, so I like that. And you know, it's a fun new way to analyze what the Detroit Lions could do at number 2. Now, if I were sitting there, I would probably be like, hey, Texans, you want to trade up a little bit? Or hey, Giants, you want to trade up a little bit? Maybe see if they want to go up for like, you know, KT or anything like that. We'll see about that one. But again, one of my subs asked this, like, why not Sauce Gardner? And there's not a legitimate argument you can make for why not Sauce Gardner. Maybe why other people, but maybe not why not. You get what I'm saying? So that's my little spiel right there. Texans getting Travon Walker. I'm much more of a fan of KT, but again, I keep saying this, Texans organization is probably the one organization I wouldn't want KT to go to if there are questions regarding his motor. So I get it. Super high ceiling player. You know, this is a team that, again, the expectations aren't very high. So he could end up developing in a Rashawn Gary way, and people would be expecting much less from him than what Rashawn Gary was producing until last year. So I think it could be a very beneficial location for him. I would be going offensive line, of course, because I do think the edge room is very deep. Offensive tackle, not very much at all. KT to the Jets, absolutely amazing pick. I'm not even going to talk about it. Like, you guys know that's a great pick. Right here with Ikem Ekwonu, I think that I would personally go Evan Neal, but I do understand the upside of Ikem. Like, it would just be an absolute monstrosity at right tackle. So I know that, like, so this is just based off of a board ranking for Mel. I'll just say, if you really think he's going to play right tackle, I'd feel a lot more comfortable putting someone who's played true right tackle at right tackle year 1 in a pretty much prove it year for Daniel Jones. I would not want to have any more excuses. So that's just my take right there, even though Ikem is an amazing pick. Panthers finally getting Malik Willis. Thank God it is not Kenny Pickett. So get an A+ from me. I like that one. Jermaine Johnson to the Giants at 7. I mean, Jermaine's going to be an amazing pick. I just think that Wink Martindale has proven enough that he can develop edge talent, and very quickly, especially raw ones. So I would be definitely leaning towards a different position, even like Kyle Hamilton at that point, given the lack of safeties on the roster. Again, I think he goes over safety in round 2. So he does analyze that is a position of need. Jermaine Johnson's a phenomenal athlete, and he's a phenomenal competitor. So I would not be mad at that selection. A little bit high for me, even though I was one of the first to absolutely fall in love with Jermaine. But, you know, at least you're getting something to help out your offense. Number 8, you got Garrett Wilson here. So Yeah, very intriguing. I do like Garrett Wilson to the Falcons. I've heard that this pick is being shipped. So I would love to see Atlanta trade back, even if you end up getting Jameson Williams. Ouch, right? You get Jameson Williams in like a future first or another second and third round pick. I think that would be a really good move. I would even dare to say Kansas City could try to move up with their 2 firsts and be able to secure this, because I think the Falcons have a lot of big issues. It was a weird trade that I tried originally, did not have the balls to go through with it, but definitely something where I would be considering a trade back, especially with Evan Neal on the board. You trade with the Chargers, get a future first, maybe even a future second as well, given the absolute value of getting potentially the best tackle in the draft. Regardless, Evan Neal to the Seahawks would be an absolute steal. Love that. London to the Jets. I'm very happy about London anyway. Like, I like London. I know a lot of people don't. I think that he works really well with New York. I think he'd be a true X. And even if you want to play Elijah on the outside, you can play him in this. You can play London in the slot. So big fan of that. Commanders going Kyle Hamilton. I mean, again, I really do think that's an A+ move for them. Kyle Hamilton, worst case scenario, like, he's a pretty solid safety, but best case scenario, you're going to have someone who locks down like literally a third, if not half of an entire field. I love Kyle Hamilton. I really do think that it's worth putting into your scheme. It's worth scheming around Kyle Hamilton rather than trying to put Kyle Hamilton into your scheme. Minnesota Vikings, Derek Stingley Jr., big plus on that one. Big fan. Charles Cross to the Texans. So talked about offensive line earlier, and I think that Charles Cross would be an amazing value at 13. I would almost want to flip it the other way just so I could have an insurance policy. But honestly, I cannot complain about getting Charles Cross at pick 13. Trent McDuffie to the Ravens. This is something that I don't really understand, because Trent McDuffie, in my opinion, is a smaller zone corner. And the Ravens, I mean, I just want someone who's a little more press man. So I am not for Trent McDuffie being on the Ravens. That's just not my type of thing, right? Again, I'm much lower on Trent McDuffie, but I'm trying to see it from Mel's perspective. I know that Trent McDuffie is extremely high on a lot of people's boards, and not mine, which is kind of crazy. But I think that it just doesn't fit. I'd much rather go Kyrie Elam or trade back and get Kyrie Elam later in the first or even the second round. So, that's just me. That is. But Philadelphia Eagles going Chris Olave. I would go Jameson Williams at that point. You at least are getting. I know that you have Quez there to be a good deep threat, and I think that there's a merit to going Treylon Burks. That's where I would go in a perfect world. But understanding that Treylon Burks' value is a little bit lower, especially probably to the Eagles. I would go Jameson Williams here all day. Again, I think Chris Olave is very similar to Devontae Smith, and I'd much rather go after someone who could be an upgrade over Quez than a clone of Devontae. But again, it's not a horrible pick by any stretch of the imagination. Again, you are investing in your offense, and you're kind of giving no more excuses, except for the excuse that you have a bunch of 180-pound dudes on your roster. Not great. But New Orleans Saints going Trevor Penning, without an offensive tackle that's worth starting on the board, you can go Trevor Penning and at least take somebody with the highest ceiling. So I guess, you have 2 first-round picks. That's what you can use one on. Even if it busts out, you still have a chance on hitting on the other one. Chargers going Jordan Davis, a little bit weird to me, even though I'm a big fan of that, given how Jameson Williams is on the board. You brought in 2 defensive tackles in the offseason. I don't think that it exactly negates the ability to go nose tackle, but Jordan Davis, he is a freak. But I would just go after Jameson Williams. Eagles have another chance to go Jameson. They go Nakobe Dean. I've just seen, he only went to 1 top 30 visit so far, and that's to the Lions. That's a little bit sus, just straight up. But I know that this might be what Mel would do. And I do love the idea of Nakobe Dean potentially being with Gannon, even though I will just say this, with a very low blitz rate, Nakobe might be probably the worst fit. So hopefully if they draft Nakobe Dean, like in this situation, it gives Gannon the balls to just straight up go and blitz his ass off, because Nakobe, that's his strength. That's his big strength. Saints going then Jameson Williams. Obviously, you popped a bottle of champagne for that one. Steelers going Kenny Pickett. I just really don't. This is perfect. Best case scenario can become Derek Carr. Best case scenario, and that probability is very, very low. Just there's not much that is pretty beneficial about Kenny Pickett. He's going to go in the first, but I'm just heavily against that with a passion. And I think the entire community is as well, which is a little bit weird because we still are putting him in the first even. And the rumor is from insiders that he's going first. It's weird. New England Patriots going Devin Lloyd. Love it with a passion. I love that. Packers going Christian Watson over Treylon Burks is a little bit interesting, though, because I think his value will still be there at that second pick. I'd much rather go Treylon Burks. I think Christian Watson is MVS, and I guess you're getting Aaron Rodgers, someone he's comfortable with. But there's not really much there. Like, you lost Devontae Adams. I think that's the bigger hit than MVS. You might as well go after someone like Treylon Burks to at least bring the size speed combo of Devontae Adams rather than, Christian Watson, who's just a pure deep threat. I just love Treylon Burks after the catch as well. I think that he would just be a much better day one impact. But the Cardinals getting him, I mean, I love it. Obviously you brought on AJ Green. There is a pretty big role for someone of that size. And with the quick ball, or with getting out the ball quickly, Treylon Burks could be a big asset in this offense. Ebiketie to the Cowboys. It's a bit of a reach, but it's not, because he's 25 on my board. It feels like a reach because I don't do that myself. So I love how Mel just mentions how Todd McShay is tired of Mel talking up Arnold, but I mean, he's 25 on my board. I really do believe in Arnold Ebiketie. I think he's an absolutely phenomenal edge rusher. I would just say replace the offensive line first, but I do know Mel does that in the second. Buffalo Bills going Dax Hill. Very intriguing. Very intriguing. I don't know if he actually wants him to play a corner. Might be a slot corner if he ends up in Buffalo. Why not just go after Andrew Booth at that point? I don't know. A little bit weird to me. A little bit weird. I do like Dax Hill. I'm going to be actually studying him in depth today because I'm finally doing my in-depth reports on safeties. God has forsaken me in terms of all 22 tape for the safeties. But still, Jahan Dotson next for the Titans. Again, if you losing out on Julio Jones is it's a pretty big loss, even though you brought in Robert Woods, AJ Brown, Robert Woods, Jahan Dotson. I do like that trio. I would say that you could potentially go Kenyon Green here, but again, there's a lot worse things that could happen. Zion Johnson could have been another fit there. Devontae Wyatt, I will just say I would much rather go after Zion Johnson here, but I do know he goes after a guard in the next round. Devontae Wyatt's an amazing fit. Zion Johnson to the Packers. Honestly, if you flip the two picks, and that would seem a little more realistic and then honestly better, in my opinion. Kansas City Chiefs going Booth, love it, as well as Karlaftis, A+ draft for them. And this is the pick that really made me want to this is the one that I'll actually get a little bit irritated with. When you bring Ted Karras in, this is not supposed to be a long-term answer, and he literally played left guard last year. When Tyler Linderbaum's on the board, you don't trade out to let another team take the guy that you were going to take. Now, I know that the pick he does go after is one that's an A+ move, in my opinion, but you got to protect Joe Burrow. You have to. And Tyler Linderbaum is just such a damn stud. Also, he weighed in over 300 pounds. I would be surprised if he gets past, what do we say? Maybe like 24. 24 would be a hard thing for him to pass. And I think that rather than the Jets moving up for him, I would love to see the Jaguars move up for him. Even though I love that, assuming Cincinnati is like, you know what, we're going to take a corner. We don't want Lindy. If you trade back with the Jets, heck yeah. Big fan of that one. Lewis Cine to the Detroit Lions. Big fan of that as well. I love him. And this is interesting. So Kenyon Green to the Jaguars. So I think that the one, he's a top-ranked guard, very intriguing. But Green is, I don't know if guard's exactly a position I would be putting my assets into. That being said, I would love for him to get into shape and move out to left tackle. This does give that potential. So trying to see it from his point of view, I can see that happening. Lions going Ojabo. There you go. At least you're giving yourself a chance at getting someone who's worth a top 10 pick. I picked 34. Bengals then pick up Kyrie Elam. You guys know me. I have Kyrie Elam as a top 20 player. Do love him to death. Athletically, he tests off the charts. And apart from this last year, he performed out of his mind. So big fan of him. Pittry to the Giants. I talked about safety earlier. I would personally go after Brisker, but at the same time, really can't complain ever about Jalen Pittry. Big fan of what he could bring to the table. Jaquan Brisker for the Texans. I love it. You're getting a mean, nasty hitter for the Texans, and that's going to be a really nice cornerstone piece. He actually graded out as a late first for me. So really big fan of that one. Same thing with Lewis Cine. Actually, Cine graded out as more of like a top 25 player. But still, Jets going Breece Hall here. I love it. Honestly, I do. I'll just say this, though. I'd probably want someone who's a little bit more contact balancy than Breece. Breece is much more of a one-cut back. I just love the idea of continuing to upgrade at the running back position because it's the easiest way to help out your quarterback. I'm starting to reverse my logic here. Because I totally forgot about Michael Carter, who's my kind of like draft darling last year. I don't know if Breece Hall complements, Michael Carter that way. So for me, I'm starting to retract my statement. I would much rather be probably even going Bernard Ryman at this pick. Or, I mean, I'm thinking about it. You could even go safety here as well. No, Dax Hill's off the board. Wow, the safeties came up real quick. Shoot, but I don't know. For me, I would want to go after a different position than running back. You could also go linebacker here. Pretty sure Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean are off the board, but Leo Chanel still available. So that's where I would probably be going with that pick. But Breece Hall, again, you are upgrading a position, and he is, in my opinion, by far the best running back in the class. Bears going Kyler Gordon. I'm not a fan of Gordon personally, and if I'm the Bears, you have George Pickens on the board. You can get a true wide receiver one. That's where I would go, and you're not an attractive location for wide receivers anyways. So you have to make sure that you get it in the draft. Seahawks go Desmond Ridder and Quay Walker. For some reason, I absolutely think that this is a feasible pairing for the Seahawks. If they end up getting Evan Neal, I don't care what they do in the second. Quay Walker is an amazing Bobby Wagner replacement, in my opinion. Him and Jordan Brooks would be nice. Desmond Ridder, I'm not very high on, but that's okay because I still think that wouldn't be too shabby. I would personally go Sam Howell in that situation if I'm going to choose a quarterback. Bernard Ryman's the best case scenario for the Colts. So if they can get that somehow, I'm giving them a big thumbs up. Falcons going Boye and Mafe. It's intriguing. I think that, they're getting pieces for the future. So this will allow them to give a chance for him to develop. Granted, I'm not a huge fan of how old he is. I'm pretty sure he's a redshirt senior, but he knows what he's doing. He's a monster. He's a physical freak. But I don't know. That's just me. I was actually stuck in that situation. I almost drafted Boye for the Falcons, if I'm not mistaken, in one of my recent mock drafts that I did. Cleveland Browns going Travis Jones is an A+ move. Love it to death. Channing Tindall to the Ravens, though. Very intriguing. I've heard the NFL is very high on Channing Tindall. Some of them even higher than Nakobe Dean. The question is, are they talking about for the value or just the prospect in general? That's something I have not gotten clarification on. Channing Tindall could be a really nice addition to a Ravens team that's looking to bolster its linebacking core that is a little bit weak. Number 46, Perion Winfrey to the Vikings. I would want more of a dominant player on the interior defensive line, but you got corner, and I mean, I've heard that center's an issue. I'm not going to draft a center this high. Wide receiver, you could try to target at this point. I don't really think it's much of a need. On the offense, I think you're pretty solid. Linebacker is a position I would consider. You lost Anthony Barr, and you still have some really good guys on the board. So would consider that one, but Perion Winfrey is far from a terrible option. Commanders going George Pickens is an A+ move. You guys know me. Alshon Jeffrey, as well as Michael Pittman, have been the big major favorite targets of the now Washington Commanders quarterback Carson Wentz. So Pickens is an A+ move, especially at this point in the draft. Tyler Smith to the Bears is an A++ move. Again, I love him. So, you guys know me. He's number 18 on my board because I'm projecting what he could be in the future in the right situation. Saints going Matt Corral. I think I did that myself, or I might have done that with the Seahawks, but definitely think that this is probably his best case scenario here at Pittsburgh. And honestly, I'm all for it. Kansas City Chiefs going Sky Moore. Love it. I do. I don't think that he is really similar to Tyreek Hill personally, but again, the value is undeniable. I would say it's totally worth it. Drake Jackson to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not that big of a fan of this pick, but again, the reasoning is just because I'm not as high on Drake Jackson, and I don't think that putting him into a 5 edge rusher rotation is exactly the best move for Philly when linebacker could still be a position you do target. I know Nakobe Dean was taken, but you could also address corner. There are other positions that I personally would address, but Drake Jackson is not a bad pick at all. There is some logic to it. Steelers going John Mechie is a little bit weird though. It is. I definitely don't know. I guess he could play in the slot. I guess he's not a bad player. It'd be a little bit weird to see John Mechie on the Steelers. I'd rather go Alec Pierce like he did right here for the Green Bay Packers, which is an A+ move, number 25 on my board. New England Patriots going Logan Hall, flexible tweener. I think that Bill Belichick will have a plan. So very intriguing on that one. Cardinals going McCreary, do that myself. This is something that I don't think I've done yet, and I really love it. Cowboys going Abe Lucas here. So I actually have the grading being done right at the moment, but Abe Lucas is going to be coming out to probably be like an early third, late second pick. And this is the perfect location. Day one impact. He's athletic enough. I think he got more athletic in the offseason too. Like, I definitely am a big fan of the Cowboys bringing on Abe Lucas if they don't go O-line in round 1. Bills going Kenny Walker, do that myself. Troy Anderson for the Falcons. I'll just say this. I would personally want somebody who's a little bit younger. I love Troy Anderson. He could set the tone for the defense. Big fan of the pick in general, but if you're trying to build for the future, again, I would be going after someone like Leo Chanel. Packers going Myjai Sanders. Happy to see he's not 111 on everybody's board because he is pretty high on mine. Then you got Cole Strange out of Chattanooga to the Buccaneers. Pretty big fan of that one because, again, you're taking a shot on a super high upside player to play him at guard. I don't think he's exactly worth the 60th overall pick, but it's still a really fun idea to be like, hey, you're probably not going to be there at our 3rd round pick, so we might as well take you here. Then Cam Taylor-Britt for the Niners. Personally, I think edge might be a bigger position to target, but you can never be mad about bolstering the secondary. Kansas City Chiefs, Jalen Tolbert, intriguing to say the least. I'm pretty sure that they have now brought on 2 wide receivers in this draft with Sky Moore and Jalen Tolbert. Don't really know if you need to do that because edge rushers still could be another position to target. You got Carl Loftus, but you can get someone else in there for the rotation. Go safety, go linebacker, go corner. I don't know. I know you got Booth in there too, but again, this is the problem. I don't think the Chiefs are going to have all these picks. They got to be moving these some way, shape, or form. Bengals going Greg Dulcich as tight end 1, Trey McBride shortly after. Both teams looking for tight end upgrades. Both teams get the A+ from me. So, of course, we got sponsor of the channel, Olipop. Not going to be doing like a long thing for him, but definitely check it out. You get 15% off, and I get a little bit of the money from it. So if you guys want to support me and you want a pretty damn cool drink, I love this stuff. I do buy like cases of it. Fun fact, I've gotten like 5 uses of my code, all 5. Yo boy. So tastes amazing. Tropical Punch is not exactly my favorite flavor, but it's new. It's cool. I ain't going to BS you guys. You guys know that by now. But let's kick into the draft. Let's have some fun. Pick 65. So I'm pretty sure, is Leo Chanel still on the board? I'm going to feel like an idiot if he's not. He is on the board. And you lost Miles Jack. You know damn well I'm going to be pulling the trigger on Leo Chanel. Let's switch it to my board so you guys get to see my rankings here. Leo Chanel is going to be the instant selection for me right here. Linebacker is still an issue right here. I would be actually going Sam Howell, though. Again, it's a 3rd round pick. This is the fun part. You just start sweeping up the guys who I have a lot higher. But you might say, oh, no, like I just totally crapped on people for taking quarterback. It's the 3rd round, guys. Come on, take a shot. Have some fun. These guys might not even make your roster. But still, I think that it's worth taking a shot on somebody who could be a legit impact player on your roster. I was being a little bit facetious by saying they might not make it, but they might not make the starting lineup. Sam Howell could. At this pick, again, I'm super high on Brian Asamoah. I think he'd be a great addition to this team. He's a little bit iffy in zone coverage, if I'm not mistaken, but he's a lot better in man. I do like Brian Asamoah a ton. I would still consider Sean Ryan here to be filling in at that guard tackle spot as well, but honestly, I don't really care. I think continuing to address the linebacker position is never a bad thing to do, and Brian Asamoah is a stud. For 68, we could actually still look at a corner here. I do not have Tariq Woolen at 37. I need to update that, but I would still look at a corner here. I do know they just brought on Steven Nelson. I think that's an A+ move for the franchise. Running back, not really a big fan of taking one right here personally. You still have, is Carson Strong still on the board too? But honestly, Calvin Austin wouldn't be a bad choice here. I do like having another gadget weapon, and he can also play reps at running back. I do really like what you could be doing there. So, I can't do it though. I can't. We're going to go Martin Emerson here. I think he works great in a zone defense, especially this cover 2, Lovie Smith. So we're going to do it. Let's continue moving on. Because I love Calvin Austin with a passion. Number 69 with the Jets. Let's see who's still on the board. You got Nicholas Petit-Ferrer, who doesn't need time to develop. Definitely somebody who I would be intrigued with getting. But I'm going to go Nick Cross here out of Maryland, graded out as a late 2nd round pick for me. Definitely has his issues, but he has some really good instincts, especially he as well. Like, I think that it was Jaquan Brisker had a little bit worse instincts, but in the running game, Nick Cross just went right to the freaking ball. Like, I was like, wow, Like, your run instincts are ridiculous. Now he needs to be better in the run game, but what's up here was working. I like that a lot. Number 70 with the Jaguars. For me, honestly, I would be taking Tariq Woolen here. It's just so worth it to potentially like boom on this pick. And I don't care if he fits the scheme or not. He's 6'4", 4'2", 640. You can at least try and see if he will actually develop into a plus starter for your team. The Bears still need a wide receiver. It's a little bit weird. I might be having to go with Calvin Austin here though, because again, I do kind of want to go after a bigger wide receiver. There's still some really good edges on the board too. I don't really want to reach for a wide receiver, but I know the opportunity cost of who's going to be there at the next pick. It's going to be absolute crap. So Calvin Austin out of Memphis, to me, if you really want to boost your team, like Calvin Austin can play on the boundary. He has for a long time. You can also play some reps at running back if need be. But you get the ball out of Justin Fields' hands really quickly, really good after the catch. His numbers speak for itself. You get a good deep threat as well. There's not really much wrong with taking Calvin Austin. The only issue is you don't have a big target. Number 72, again, by the way, guys, I do this all live. I don't really like to pre-plan this out because who has time for that anyways? But this pick, I would definitely be still considering a corner at this point. But I got to go with Sam Williams here. His physical upside is through the roof. Big fan of what he can bring to the table. Wide receiver should be a position to target here. I do love Wandale to this team, but corner is such a big need as well. I might be just taking a Sean Zion McCollum here because he actually measured out at 6'2", but I mean, the guy is an athletic freak, and he was actually really good in the run game as well. So he might be a day one impact for the roster. Gotta love when the frames keep freezing. Love it. But I know you guys don't care about that, to be honest. But still, number 74 with the Falcons have not gone quarterback yet, and I'm not going to do it. Carson Strong. I don't care. I still think Kirby Joseph would be a nice addition to this team. But we even might go linebacker here. I know that we went Troy Anderson earlier, but Chad Muma's on the board. The disrespect is starting to grow a little bit. But I might want to go after another edge rusher here. Again, you guys don't really have much. Ooh, but we got Garrett Wilson in the first. We're actually gonna go Wandale. We are. We're gonna play it safe. We're gonna go Wandale Robinson here, allowing the freaking Broncos to go Chad Muma. The disrespect is real, but we're not gonna let the disrespect continue any longer. Adding a Mike to your roster would be an A+ move. For the Ravens, edge rusher is such a big position that has not been addressed yet. So I'm not going to let that happen anymore. Nick Bonito out of Oklahoma. Pretty sure he gained weight as well, around 250. Guy's elite production, elite athleticism. That's somebody that you should be taking in the second round, but who's going to complain about taking him in the third, right? So love that for him. Number 77, I want to go with safety here. I want to go Kirby Joseph out of Illinois. There's a big gap. You guys saw that. It was like, it's literally a huge gap after Kirby. So Kirby Joseph, I fell in love with him at the Senior Bowl. So that's where I'm like falling in love with him. But hey, I think that other people have seen that as well. He's over, like, Illinois has been able to develop a pretty damn good safety right there with Kirby Joseph. And I think that this team now more than ever is looking to be able to build that succession plan for Harrison Smith, be able to fill in for where Anthony Harris once was. And I forgot his name. No, former Cowboys, now on the Panthers. Bugging on his name, but the strong safety from there. I think it's Xavier Woods. Regardless, this pick should be probably an edge rusher. And I'm looking at the guy with the highest ceiling here. I'm looking at Kingsley Enagbare, and I'm like, yes, you're supposed to be a first-round pick, and now you get to be trained by Myles Garrett. Sign me up for that. Big fan. Now the Chargers can address their offensive tackle position. And for me, I'm going to go Nicholas Petit-Ferrer, who played pretty damn well as a right tackle. Being able to steal them here at 79 to me is an A+ move, especially with the lack of right tackle talent left on the board. Number 80, we are back with the Texans and still could be looking at wide receiver here. Not a big fan of them, but looking at the guys around, I might want to go Christian Harris. I might just say, screw it, dude. That would be quite fun. We could go Marcus Jones here. I know we went actually after one earlier. So we're going to go Christian Harris. Best player available, honestly. Just say screw it. We're going to go with it. 81, I don't know how this guy's not off the board yet. Sean Ryan out of UCLA. Tackle guard versatility. You bring him in. I know Feliciano's there as well as Glowinski, but I don't care. Again, I really don't. This is the third round. You're getting guys who could be potential starters on your roster, and Sean Ryan to me is worth a second. Number 82, we are back with the Falcons, and I think we went Wandale earlier. I do like that. You're building the pieces for an all-star, like a kick-ass squad. I might go Cam Thomas at this point. I might. I definitely like what you could be doing there. Want to check out the other positions, see if anybody is randomly falling. I'm going to be going Cam Thomas. Doesn't exactly fit what you're looking for, but I think he's a mini George Karlaftis, and if he gets in shape, he could be worth a first-round pick. Like, legitimately, I have it in my notes where I was like, damn it, Todd McShay. Like, I see some first round in this guy. So Cam Thomas certainly could be in that realm. Eagles definitely should be looking at another cornerback. And I'm looking right here, and Josh Williams might be a really intriguing option for me at this point. Marcus Jones could play safety as well, though. He's really small. I know that's the big knock on him, but Marcus Jones is such a baller. I mean, I love him to death. We're going to go Marcus Jones and say we'll fit him where he needs to. He can play safety. He can play slot corner. He's played a lot of boundary, actually, as well, but he's not going to play boundary in the NFL. It's just like, it's the best that you can do at the moment. Steelers on the board, I think you still could be addressing that corner position. Josh Williams, to me, should be in that realm. I mean, linebacker with Brandon Smith could be a really fun safety linebacker hybrid, though. Like, tell me I'm wrong. That would be really fun. So I'm down to Brandon Smith as well as Josh Williams out of Fayetteville State. I'm going to go Brandon Smith here. I just love that potential of bringing another Penn State kid into the Pittsburgh locker room. Brandon Smith can make it. I think the Steelers can do it. And guess who the linebacker coach is, by the way, guys? Brian Flores. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that it's a pretty good spot to draft a linebacker who's extremely raw like Brandon Smith, 4'5" out of 250 pounds. Number 85 with the Patriots. So this actually is going to be Josh Williams out of Fayetteville State. Small school kid. I think he showed up at the Senior Bowl and just locked it down. Big fan of him overall. The guy, I mean, I'm pretty sure that PFF doesn't even have statistics on him, but you saw him. He was probably the best corner there at the Senior Bowl, and he came out of nowhere, was able to lock down. This, tell me, it doesn't feel like a Belichickian move. I like it. Number 86 with the Raiders. Let's see who is on the board still. Just gave a big contract to Derek Carr. I think DeMarvin Leal could be a fun option to just get somebody who has ridiculous potential at a dirt cheap price. Number 87 with the Cards, I think that you have to go after an edge rusher here. Josh Pascal has a lot of potential, and I think there's a big drop off after him. You have some guys like Amari Barno who are just athletic monsters, but I just don't exactly feel like none of them stack up to the potential of Josh Pascal, especially on the inside. I do like his potential there. Number 88 with the Cowboys. I think that continuing to bolster the offensive line would never be a bad thing. So that's why I'm going Jamari Sawyer out of Georgia. Again, somebody who can play a lot of roles, especially with Tyron Smith's injury history. I think that Jamari Sawyer can definitely kick out to left tackle if need be and play a much bigger role there. Number 89 with the Bills. We have taken a lot of the corners off the board. That's a little bit rough. And honestly, the next guy I would probably draft is Mario Goodrich or Kobe Bryant for the team. I don't know. I'm not in the mood to reach right now. So I'd be considering someone like Ed Ingram to back. I think that Cody Ford is still there. So if you want someone who can come in and potentially fill in, Ed Ingram could be a fun option. Bo Melton as well, though. I think that people are sleeping on my boy Bo right here. I'm going to be drafting him for this team. He's 4.34 speed, and he showed up to the Senior Bowl and just absolutely lit it up for a Rutgers wide receiver. Definitely somebody who has a lot of potential, and this is a spot where he doesn't need to shine out as a 1 or a 2. So I like the potential of him being a nice impact player for this roster. Number 90 for the Titans. We are going a linebacker here. Darian Beavers is a monster who can cover pretty damn well, in my opinion, as well as blitz the passer at a high level. Definitely somebody who I would like to see working right there in Nashville. Number 91, you got the Buccaneers. And again, I'm trying to find guys who I honestly want to take for this team. Of course, I'm not to be fair, we're at pick 91. I can't find like an all-star every single pick. But, Jelani Woods is somebody who I'm thinking about taking here. Their starting tight end is Cameron Brate, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I mean, you don't have Gronk back yet. Jelani Woods is a freak tight end. So definitely take your shot on him. 92 with the Green Bay Packers. I think this could be, we already went offensive line once. I think this could be a linebacker pick. That being said, not looking at, it's not looking up. Just to put it simply, it's not looking up for the team. Tight end still is on the board, though. Jake Ferguson is certainly somebody who I would actually want to take for this team. It's actually who I am going to take. I know not many people will be as high on Jake Ferguson as I am, but he was, in my opinion, the best tight end there at the Senior Bowl. So, he's definitely going to be that day one impact that you want on your roster behind Robert Tonyan. So continue to be productive at that tight end spot for very cheap. 49ers, I'm going to be going a center here 100%. Alec Lindstrom, I think he does fit the scheme. I'm trying to think whether he fits perfectly. No, Cam Jurgens is going to be a fit right here. Luke Fortner as well. I need to move up Cam Jurgens. There's a video on Twitter of him just like toasting a dude downfield. He is fast. I think he was one of the fastest linemen at the combine as well. He has his own beef jerky company. We're going to be having him go to San Francisco, even though not really the beef jerky over there. They're more into avocado toast. Might be a little bit of a weird assimilation process, but it's A-okay. For the Chiefs, I think this would be a great spot to get an impact player like James Cook to just go and have at least some form of a positive impact in the running back room. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not going to be able to provide what James Cook could. And at number 95, this should be probably Ed Ingram out of LSU. Definitely getting somebody with a crazy upside as a run blocker, left guard potential right there. Number 96, this could be another linebacker spot if we're going to be completely honest here. I'm not really a huge fan of this pick anymore. The more I think about it, you could go after a right tackle here. I think Darian Kennard is definitely worth taking a shot on. If he works I say he's a right tackle only, so this is a spot where he could end up making it a legitimate splash. Number 97 for the Lions, I think wide receiver still is on the board. I'm just not a huge fan of the guys on the board. Versus linebacker, you could get somebody like Jesse Luketa. Damone Clark is the guy who I'm targeting, though. He has I forget what it was, something in his neck that he's getting surgery on. Dude should have been like a mid-second round pick. At least you're taking a shot on him. And again, the expectations are very low at the moment. You are trying to play the long game here. I think Damone Clark could be an absolute steal at 97. 98, we got the Saints. And I'm going to go for Darian Mathis. You're just getting another impact player on that defensive front. Is there a much more reasoning behind that? No, it was a little bit more of a lazy pick, in my opinion, but I think Darian Mathis is probably BPA. Number 99, you got the Browns on the board. And for me, I am going to be going Jesse Luketa out of Penn State. Edge rusher linebacker hybrid. Definitely somebody who's still trying to find himself, but he doesn't need to be a day one impact on this roster. So somebody you're playing the long game for, and he does flash some crazy potential there. Number 100 for the Ravens. I would have loved to have gone after Darian Kennard for this team. Oops, not going to happen. I think Luke Fortner could definitely be in this equation. So we're going to take that center out of Kentucky. Definitely plays a good impact on the roster. I know that they're probably going to be moving Mercari, if I'm not mistaken, to center. But again, you're having a cheap dude on contract. Kentucky, damn well they'll be able to run block day one. So definitely like the potential there. For the Eagles, we've just drafted a corner/safety hybrid. I think running back still is on the table with Dameon Pierce or Pierre Strong Jr. I'll just say that Kenny Gainwell feels a little bit more in the Pierre Strong game. I'm going to be actually going Dameon Pierce here. I know a lot of people won't like that pick, but again, I think that might be the best for the roster overall. And we are finally going to the Dolphins. I think that going after a linebacker would not be a bad choice for a team that's trying to compete right now. I'm going to be going Jack Sanborn here out of Wisconsin to be able to add another impact player in that linebacking room, that second layer of the defense. Again, he's going to be just a dude who's an amazing football player overall. Definitely like him. And yeah, just continuing to make the defense better and better. Number 103, the Kansas City Chiefs are back on the board. And, this is a spot where I would start looking at some dudes. Where's some other guys at? Where is Wanye? Yeah, Wanye Thomas, definitely someone who I would be considering at this round, but not going to do that because I don't think that that's the best move for the team. We're going to be going Daniel Faalele to be able to compete at tackle. Zach Tom was an interesting dude, and I'm probably going to take him here for the Rams anyways to play center. But It's just, I thought Luke Fortner might be a more entertaining prospect. Zach Tom's going to be the center for the Rams, played left tackle and center. Weird combination, but definitely still a good move. And hold on a second. Dylan Parham's also on the board. We forgot to take him. That's on me. But to be honest, if you guys are really all butthurt about that, swap Cam Jurgens for it. And then, you can move Cam Jurgens up here to the Ravens. Actually, we'll consider Cam Jurgens still on the board. How about that? Dylan Parham's off the board. Forgot about him. Regardless, I think this should be an edge rusher. And Michael Clemens is going to be a day one impact for the team. Dominic Robinson, pretty fun. I'm going to go Michael Clemens here. I do think that he's going to be the best way to end off the draft. So that's going to be it, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.